Okay, and we are going to start right now. Well, good morning, everyone. It is SchreckTeck, episode number 44. I'm Rick Zanotti, and next to me, let's see, this way. I got her on the right side. Okay, right there. Right there. The inimicable, the one and only. She saved my life today. I was so afraid last week. Anyway, it's Gina. Gina Schreck.
I love Neen.
Oh, Neen is wonderful.
So much. I need to become more like Neen. Neen, that is my goal. I will be more like Neen and be the time Nazi.
She's very good. She's very good. She's actually really sweet.
Yeah, she's awesome.
I'm still afraid, though.
Tough. She's tough.
Tough.
The velvet pit bull.
Yep.
I think is her nickname. So be careful. She looks soft, but she'll get you. I have my pessimist mug. The glass is half empty, but you can tell mine is more than half full today. I'm feeling really good because I have my robot ring on. It's kind of like the Power Ranger ring, ready to go. But most importantly, a shout out to my daughter Taylor, who made me this shirt. Gadgets make me giddy. She made me this for Christmas, and I told her I'd wear it. And she watched the show last week. So Taylor, shout out to you. So Rick, you're heading off to ASTD, the big training and development conference
in Las Vegas. Not my favorite place in the world, but
Viva Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas. It can viva by itself. But anyway, I don't mind Las Vegas. I just hate the smoke. When you walk into a casino, it's just gag time. It's like, right. I don't mind smokers. I just don't want them 3 million in one room. That's that's it. I could, if it's a couple, I don't care. But if it's millions, yes. Your glass is half empty. My glass is cracked.
His glass is filled with smoke. Maybe
mine is cracked. It's gone.
Your cracked pot. Yeah. Well, it's always hard when you go somewhere and there's lots of stuff. And I escaped our house. I just looked out the window and it's snowing. It was not snowing, and now it's snowing here.
Wow.
That's weird. But I escaped last week when we had all the wood floors being done, and the dust and congestion. So, yeah, it's like we need clean air everywhere we go. Just
clean air. Clean air would be good.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is they're doing the show at the Rio, which is one of the older hotels.
Yeah, I don't like the Rio.
It's a really crummy hotel. The convention area is nice, but the hotel itself is just really kind of sleazy.
Yeah, it is. You don't want to stay down there.
No. In fact, when we go, we usually, other than breakfast, we go out to other hotels to eat because the food isn't even very good there. So why they choose that one, I don't know.
Hopefully, I know. Why would you choose that as a conference place? Because it's cheap. That's why.
Probably.
But hopefully there'll be some fun, big learning in the Tech Knowledge Conference. If any of you are heading out there this week. But here's a question for you. And I put this out this morning. I think I put it out on Twitter. I may have put it out on Facebook as well, saying, may your life be as good as your Facebook profile makes it appear. Because there was yet another thing that came out in the news talking about how Facebook makes people sad. And that's why I brought my pessimist mug out today. Facebook makes people sad because they're looking at the happy faces on all their friends' profiles and the fabulous life that their friends talk about that they're having on their Facebook profile, and it makes them compare their lives. And we talked about that with teens before, that teens compare themselves to their friends who look like they're having a fabulous life. Well, now they're saying everyone. Facebook makes people sad, which I just find kind of humorous, actually, because first of all, if you only put positive things on your Facebook profile, then, people go, man, you just have the most awesome life. And then if you put one sad thing on your profile, then people say all these people do are complain on their Facebook profile. So Facebook is kind of funny in that way. So, we have to look at it and say, this is the brand that we want to project. And again, I use Facebook for personal and professional networking, and then I have my business page for our business and giving tips on social media and things on our Getting Geeky page. But I had a conversation with a woman this week, and she was very concerned, wanting me to help her get set up on Facebook. She's never been on there. She said, I'm just concerned about the stuff that people will see on my page. And that comment always amuses me, because people will only see what you put on there. You know, you control your profile. You can delete stuff. You can, put stuff on there. So I think it's kind of interesting, the whole thing that Facebook, people take it so seriously. But
Gina, one of the things that happens, especially to new users, is that Facebook is confusing. And the settings,
totally
and it's confusing when you first get on, trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do? How do I turn things off? Things are always turned on by default, more often than not. So you've got to make an effort to turn them off. In fact, one thing I find really irritating, this is a new thing, I think, on Facebook. They're doing political ads pop-ups on Facebook now. I find that really irritating.
They're testing a lot of things with ads. Yeah.
And so here we go, one more intrusive thing. I mean, you've got ads anyway. Now you've got to have them pop up on you?
Because we weren't clicking on them.
Exactly. So now you're just clicking to say turn off, close.
Yeah, well, this woman made the mistake of trying to create a Facebook page, and she clicked the button that says, do you want to import all your friends from email? And she said yes, and all of a sudden all the flood of these information came in, and so she deleted the whole thing. She deactivated her account. So it is overwhelming and kind of scary when you're first setting up your Facebook profile. And I always say,
now, Gina, when you input all your friends, I think that's happened to some people I know recently, where they said they sent out 500 invites to people they did not want to send invites to.
Right.
Is that a new automatic thing?
No, it's always been there. You can always, there's a thing that says, do you want to import your friends from Gmail and AOL? And, all it's doing is sending your friends an email saying, I'm now on Facebook. Come and join me. Right. So it's not automatically importing them. It's automatically inviting them to join you on Facebook, which... Yeah, I get those occasionally. I'll see that somebody must have just got on Facebook and set up, because I'll get an email saying join so-and-so on Facebook, and I'm thinking, that's weird. I'm already on Facebook. How did they not find me there? But that's all it is you're just getting that email because they said import connections. And again, it doesn't automatically feed all their stuff to you. It just asks them to connect with you.
Okay.
But yeah, it is a very, I think,
there is a risk. There is a risk to that too, because immediately, if it's somebody you don't know very well, or somebody who just happens to be on your list, guess what they do? They mark you as a spammer. You get blacklisted. Life is bad. These things happen. We've been
that's true. Well,
as a company, we've been blacklisted about 5 times already, and we don't send out mass email. We don't barely send out any emails, and we don't know why.
Is that a trend? Are we seeing a trend?
I think we're seeing a trend.
I think we're seeing a trend.
Maybe.
Yeah. See, and Jeff, this is the point I always make, Jeff. I only put things on Facebook. I wouldn't mind if everyone saw it. That's what I always say. Pretend everything you post on Facebook is going to appear on the front page of the newspaper tomorrow. As long as you're okay with that, put it on there. Then you can determine, again, lists and all the things we've talked about is setting up lists so that you can send specific information to specific groups. But even then, you don't know if I send it to someone on my list, if they're going to have their privacy settings set more public, and maybe their friends can see something that's that they shared of mine. And it's just be smart about what you post. This is your brand. You are, especially for those of us in business, we're looking at our brand. And when we go out to networking events and we present ourselves, we're presenting our professional brand. Well, on Facebook, this is an extension of your professional brand. So keep that in mind. And yes, we do want to be able to still use it for family and friends. That's what lists are for. Create those lists for family and friends, and only certain information goes to them, and you'll be safer. But again, don't be sad if other people's lives look fabulous. yours doesn't suck that much. Theirs probably sucks just as much. So, I always say it's just funny that we actually compare that way.
So wait a minute. So you're saying Facebook is the great equalizer. We all suck. Got it.
It's like, it's like anything else. You look at your friends, you go, oh, they have a great marriage. They never fight. And then you hear a week later they're getting a divorce. It's like, everyone has issues.
Actually, the ones that never fight, those are the ones who get the divorces. That's right. They can't handle life.
I used to worry about that because Kirk, the captain, and we never fight. We've had like some disagreements where he didn't realize how right I was. But yeah, exactly. Rick, you learned faster than he did. But yeah, we hardly, and that used to worry me going, they always say to worry about the relationships where there's no fighting, but I think I laugh at things, and he's learned not to be mad when I just laugh at things, so, that's okay. So, sometimes we got to do that and just realize that all of us have issues. We're just not sharing them.
No, and the good thing is he always knows where to find you because you're posting it somewhere.
It's funny because he said that to me before. He says, all I have to do is log on to Twitter. He has a search column on Twitter, and he just looks at where I am. He says, it throws me off when you schedule tweets that will go like at 6 in the morning. He goes, and I know you're still asleep. At times you'll be out of town or something. He goes, I know there's no way you could be up that early. And he goes, then I realize a couple times you've scheduled tweets, and he goes, that throws me off because maybe you're not where I think you are. I got to keep you on your toes. If I could figure out how to schedule a check-in on Foursquare, that would be, then I could really throw them off my trail. But yeah, and Jeff, what about the new sound system? I'm assuming you're talking about my new Sonos system, which I absolutely love. Cool big speakers that you put it throughout your house, and then you can go on and play music through Pandora. And yeah, Jeff, I'm loving it.
You got one of those. What's it called?
Sonos, S-O-N-O-S.
Okay.
Really cool for home sound system throughout your house. You put the speakers where you want.
Nice.
And then it actually, I control it with my iPad. I go onto the app, the Sonos app, and you can control it from your computer. But you can say, I want to play Pandora or I want to play Spotify. Nice. And it pulls up the music you want. And then you can say, I want this speaker upstairs to play this music, and maybe outside I want it to play a different.
Oh, you can actually mix it.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Or you can link rooms together and say, I want the whole house to have the same.
And that's all controlled by an iPad?
All in my iPad.
Nice.
Sonos app, yeah.
Nice.
So that's been really awesome. That was what the captain got me for Christmas, and
nice
I love
gift.
it. Love it. Great. You can continue adding speakers. So, you could start out with the small bridge, which hooks to your router. And then from the bridge, then you need, a speaker. And usually you have one big speaker in your living room, and then maybe smaller speakers in your bedroom or outside or wherever. And you can, again, each one you buy separate, which, each one, cha-ching, 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 keeps adding.
How big are the speakers?
The biggest speaker it's like a Bose, maybe 10 to 12 inches, wide.
Yeah.
And then the smaller ones are maybe 7 inches.
So you have one main one, and then you have different ones around, or is that how it works?
You can have more than one main. It's just like in the biggest room, you would want the bigger speaker, and then, but the sound is great. It's just like a Bose speaker system. So
that's kind of neat. So how much are those?
I think the big one is like $500, and then each smaller one's maybe $200 or $300.
That's not bad.
And then the bridge. You need the bridge to hook to your router, and that was I think $60 or something.
So this is so it's all wireless.
It's all Wi-Fi. It's
Nice.
working through your router, through your Wi-Fi system, which is then you you download the app, and then you can control it on your iPad. And anybody's iPad or your iPhone or computer, you just have to have it on the same network.
That's nice, and no wiring needed.
No, none.
That's nice.
Really nice. I love it. Yeah, so that's been kind of fun. Let's see. Any other questions? So thank you. I'm assuming, Colleen, you put that in there, Sonos.com. Yeah, real cool system. So, okay, some big news this week, Rick. YouTube, this is a pretty staggering number. YouTube hit a big milestone where they had 4 billion videos viewed daily. They hit that marker where 4 billion with a B.
That's a lot.
Daily views. I thought, okay, how is that possible?
It is. They must have an enormous. Well, actually, they probably have several enormous disc farms just to be able to push that content out. I can imagine what their network looks like.
I know. Can you imagine their
cool.
all their 4 billion videos? So I thought, okay, so if every person in the world had access to a computer, that would be like, I mean, think about that. Half of us are watching a video every day. So how many YouTube videos? And it could be a 30-second YouTube video.
3 billion of those are political ads, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, well, that is interesting because every little 30-second ad, if it's loaded on YouTube, that does count as a video view.
Right.
So, yeah, I was trying to pay attention to how many I watch per day. I mean, what do you think you watch videos on YouTube per day? Couple?
I probably watch sometimes in the range of 20 to 50.
In a day?
I can.
There's where the numbers come from.
There's
it's all Rick.
Yep.
I'm going, wow.
I do a lot of product research on Twitter. At night, sometimes I'll relax by listening to music, just play an old video or something, watch some old comedians, things like that. But a lot of it's products, looking for different products or reviews. Really, I do a lot of reviews.
Which that is a really good point, is, okay, we're searching for content, we're searching for an answer to something, and a video pops up. We watch a 2-minute, 3-minute video, and is our content being found? Are you producing content? I mean, we've talked about this, how important it is this year for everyone to get your videos out there, because look at how much people are consuming video.
Right. They are. In fact, we're becoming a society of less readers and more watchers.
Yeah. Right.
So it's interesting. I've talked to a lot of people who hate reading history books, but they love the History Channel.
That's right.
And it's sort of interesting because it's not always the most accurate channel, but it makes for interesting viewing, and they do make history come to life a little bit.
That's right. It's infotainment. So, we have to look at that. Are we doing the same thing with our content? Are we getting our content out there on YouTube where it can be found, where 4 billion people or 4 billion views are being, videos are being viewed a day? That is a huge, huge number. So,
which means we're a very unproductive planet.
Yeah, that is true. Unproductive. Or we're just becoming more educated.
That's right.
Colleen said she started her account yesterday, which that's awesome. And she is watching about 3 videos a day. So, people are looking, people are watching videos. Have you?
But she's only watching Gina videos, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's one of my goals today, is to do 3 videos and see. Colleen's watching 3 a day. I gotta keep up with her and put out 3 a day. I need to do some more videos. I realize it's been a while since I did my short little Getting Geeky videos, and I need more of those because they're easy to do. They're content rich, and get them out there so people can find you.
And you can do those between 3 and 4 in the morning when you have a little bit of free time.
Yeah, exactly, and then have them edited by 4:30, 5 o'clock, and up on YouTube by 6. Come on, slackers, let's get with the program here. See, here, that's so nice. Colleen saying she went to Relate and SchreckTeck channels as a benchmark. I just think any video, short, I'd stay shorter than what we tend to do on the show, because this, I think 30 minutes even we're pushing the limit of people's attention span. But
well, yes and no, because if you look at Leo Laporte's channel, their average show is probably 45 minutes to an hour.
True,
and they do go longer on some of them.
Listening to talk radio,
it is, and a lot of times, and he is on the radio on some of them. I think the tech guy is on radio, and that's 2 hours. And believe me, he has been my companion traveling many times when I used to commute. That was a good way to listen and just, hey, this isn't bad.
Laporte. Yeah, love him. It's funny because we heard his voice. I turned a podcast on, and Leo Laporte was speaking, and Bailey didn't even see the video. She's like, that's the guy from the Twit Network. That's Leo Laporte. I said, it's kind of sad when your kids recognize Leo Laporte, but kind of cool.
That means he's overexposed.
I was very proud because she finally took my advice. For over a year, I've been trying to get my daughter to watch the videos on Khan Academy, Khan, Khan Academy just Google that. He has a whole YouTube area, and I think now they've actually got his own, obviously his own website, but his own whole network of things. But they're all him teaching math and science topics. And he started by trying to teach his nephews some things using a whiteboard and videotaping it, and he would send it to his nephews, and the nephews shared it with his friends, and it became so popular. They're these short, educational, really easy to follow. And Bailey, the other night, she was saying, I love listening to his voice. It's very soothing, and I like the way he teaches for chemistry. And I was like, that is so awesome that kids can learn so much. So then it, again, brought back the re-emphasizing how are we teaching our, getting our content out
We're teaching badly in a lot of ways. If you think about it, with all the technology we have and all the abilities to make the training more consistent, we don't use it. I remember back listening to Walter Cronkite in the 70s, maybe even late 60s. I think it was a show called The 21st Century. And it was all about how the school of the future. Heck, we've gone backwards.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, we're nowhere near the school of the future.
I know. And, we just need to look at how kids are learning and what's keeping them engaged. And, she now is sharing Khan Academy, which I'm just like, I don't want to say too much to her, like, told you so. But I told her a year ago, you've got to check this. Anytime you have a question on chemistry or math, I certainly can't help her. You need to go to Khan Academy, type in the topic, and it's awesome. Awesome content. So, YouTube, 4 billion daily views. We need to get our videos going. And then, Rick, it was a sad week when I learned about Picnik. Did you hear about Picnik or just when
No, I didn't. You mentioned that. So, are they gone?
Well, it was interesting. I got a notice because I pay for the premium service. Right. I got a free year from
I used to be on Picnik. I liked it.
I say I love it. I probably have used it 5 times in the maybe 2 or 3 years that we've had the service with Picnik.com, and it's Picnik, Picnik.com. Bailey, the Shrecklet and her friends live on Picnik.com because they integrated Picnik with Facebook, and you can load a picture from your Facebook photo album up into Picnik, and you can brighten your eyes, and you can whiten your teeth, and you can remove the blemish, and you can do all kinds of. Now they also do like color filters on your pictures and stuff, but they live literally. All her friends were using Picnik, and Picnik came out this week saying that as of April 19th, they will be closing their Picnik basket. It's very sad, but.
That is happening more and more with a lot of the freer services. They're not all free, but
this one was $20 a year. But here's what's interesting: they're not closing because they're not doing well. They're closing because Google Plus bought them.
Oh, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah. So I'm sure Picnik, they're having a celebration picnic right now because I'm sure Google gave them some cash. But now it will no longer be an available service through Facebook. It'll be over with Google. So I think that's kind of
smart.
Yeah. But it will no longer be a standalone site because right now you can go to Picnik.com and you can edit all your photos, whether they're with Facebook or not.
Now let me ask you.
Yeah.
How's your experience going with Google Plus?
I don't spend as much time as I probably should. I do it out of obligation right now, and I know that's wrong. It's just I feel like the early days of Twitter. When you would put stuff out there and you'd say, "Is anybody listening?" There's 3 people that might comment, 5 people that might comment on something, and again, I'm not putting enough content out there. So part of my hesitation, and really it's just my excuse, if it was integrated into Hootsuite, it would be easier because
Google hasn't done a great job integrating with other people on that one yet.
No, they haven't opened the API for anybody.
No, and I think that's holding it back. I actually like Google Plus better than Facebook.
And are you spending time there?
No, that's unfortunately no, because like you said, you really wonder if anybody's listening, watching. Though I do notice traffic is picking up on it in terms of people who follow you and people who are getting into it.
Right.
I read somewhere that more professionals and more kind of tech people go on Google versus Facebook. I'm not sure. It could be that way.
I think it is. I mean, Google Plus, you don't have moms on Google Plus sharing their pictures like you do on Facebook. You've got all the moms and grandmas and people on Facebook. But on Google Plus, it tends to be more of the tech audience right now. I look at Google Plus, and what I tell my clients is, we need to create a Google Plus account for you, if for nothing else, because Google's listening. And your Google Plus stuff, I mean, if you've noticed when you do a Google search, your Google Plus friends, photos, and content comes up first.
Right.
And you can now do something to make sure that that doesn't happen. But you're going to be get more searchability juice if you use Google Plus than I think any other platform. So
yeah, and the thing is, one thing I do like about it, it's much less intrusive in a lot of ways than Facebook is. They don't really get in your face, whereas Facebook kind of does.
Well, it's because it's called Facebook.
Yeah.
In your Facebook. That's the gangster
in your
one.
Facebook,
In your Facebook. Yeah, I think what it is Facebook, we log into Facebook, and it's all this content that we have subscribed to by friending people. It's coming in versus Google. We go over there and it's just the stream like Twitter still. Yeah. I think once it integrates into a tool, and it is coming to Hootsuite, because I'm on a list right now. Only if you're it's not an executive, but their top level clients are able to use Google Plus in Hootsuite. So it is available. Okay. I think they're just working out all the bugs before they roll it out to others. Now,
last week was a very important week for the internet, in as much as we stopped Congress from basically ruining the internet.
Right, all the SOPA
and PIPA, and by the way, there's another one called Acta coming up. I mean, they're trying to really control the internet from every which way they can.
Right.
And we really do need to be vigilant, because if you like the internet the way it is, you won't have it anymore if Congress has its way. The internet is not good for politicians. They don't like it because it's way too much free speech and way too much.
Well, and do you think
they want to charge it and they can't?
I think it's also, I mean, I look at what the music industry, how they're trying to put, you know, well,
yeah, but you know, you look at the MPAA, the Motion Pictures Association of America. That's run by Chris Dodd, evil senator from Connecticut, who basically screwed up the whole country with the mortgages. So this is a kind of
political letters.
This is a crooked kind of guy here. Yeah, you can send all political as you want. I will be more than glad to answer them. But here's a guy who's basically been a fairly crooked senator for however many years he's been there. And now he's running the MPAA, and he's the author of SOPA and PIPA. Yeah. You know, so there's no good intentions coming from these guys.
Well, the good thing is, you know, people did take action this week.
They did.
You know, Wikipedia going dark and all these other big prominent sites going
Congress
dark.
Got over 18 million calls and letters, and there was something like 100 million calls and letters from other countries.
The good thing is social media has allowed the average citizen to take action, small action, and be part of something bigger, which is really cool. And we're seeing that, you know, corporations and government are starting to take, you know, they're paying more attention, because the masses behind it and those who will reelect those government officials are speaking out. So I thought that was really cool.
It was.
To see how that.
They said it was the largest protest in human history.
Right.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. And the other good thing is that they can't shut your website down just because they want to. That's one of the problems with PIPA and SOPA and all of these bills, is that you don't have to have any proof to shut a website down. Let's say on Gina's website, let's say on your website, you put out a video that has some content that is not royalty free, if you will, and you didn't know about it, or one of your employees did. You're liable.
Ignorance. I couldn't use my ignorance.
Yeah, you are liable at that point. They can shut you. Yeah, they can shut you down.
My daughter, we had this discussion, and I said, "How many high schoolers would be in jail if laws started rolling out?" I was like, "You got to stop ripping content from YouTube."
Right. Of course, that's the whole goal, because then you become like China and you have a productive society again.
Right. Well,
you're all prison labor.
Get back to work. It was interesting talking about this at home. And, you know, just understanding the difference. And we were laughing, saying it'll be interesting to see the trends in students' grades for that day when Wikipedia was dark. Will there be a dip because none of the answers were available? They don't know how to look in other resources anymore. So we'll see.
That's true.
If your kids' grades were tanked last week, that was why. But I thought that was another big news story that was cool to see everybody really taking action.
Yeah, and really all around the world.
Yeah.
There's some countries that only have the internet as a way to connect with other people in countries, because there's a lot of censorship within the countries. And it's very hard to block the whole internet out. You can block parts of it out, but it's pretty hard. And again, the ruse was we're going to protect. I agree. People shouldn't be downloading, going to torrents or any of that. That's illegal. But this wasn't the real reason they were doing this. This is politically based. It had nothing. RIAA is just a cover. The rest is how much they can easily control the internet. That's not a good thing.
And the lesson in all this is get involved, stand up for what you believe, and take action. And we saw last week, it's not hard to do to get involved. Again, using a lot of the social media tools, we can let our voice be heard in masses, even though it's one person at a time. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
And speaking of politics, did you hear that Obama's going to do a Google Hangout? I think it's January 30th. There will be a White House, Obama will be doing a Google Hangout, which the thing I'm confused, I thought Google Hangouts were only 10 people. So maybe I'm confused by that. But
I don't know.
Yeah. So, yeah, if anybody knows more details, but I thought that was kind of interesting. Again, this has kind of been the...
Yeah, that's actually, it is interesting because that's actually taking him off the golf course. So that is interesting.
Well, and it was funny because someone was saying, this is the most tech-savvy president. I said, really, it's not that he's so tech-savvy. It's that all this stuff is available. Look at all the tools that have been made available, which, again, is a good lesson for us in business.
Right.
The tools are coming out fast and furious. I mean, mobile technology has taken the world by storm. All of us are consuming apps, and we're tweeting, and we're Facebooking, and we're Google Plusing more than ever before as consumers of content and consumers, period. How are businesses keeping up with the demand for this new social consumer? Because, we've got a president who's now using all these tools because they see our consumer, our citizens, are now very tech savvy, and they're demanding the use of this technology, so we better get on board, which is the smart thing. As a business, are you getting on board at the rate that your consumers are, or are you behind?
However, on the other hand, do people really want to see all your politicians on TV every moment of every day? I don't think so. I've heard a lot of people complain that it's overexposed.
Cool. I think it's cool that they're using the tools of the people.
But they have to use them judiciously.
Yeah, you do. But I just look at that and go, across the board in business, are we using the tools of the people? And I look at, now again, I'm not the average consumer because I feel like I spend my life on tech tools. But I think more and more, everyone's watching now. Yep. Had to get my little horn out there. I think more and more people are, we're downloading apps at an incredible rate. We're watching videos, obviously, at an unbelievable rate. Is your business keeping up? And I'm not saying you as in you, Rick, but you as in all of us.
You out there.
Looking right, you.
Gina wants you.
There we go, the new poster. I just think that's an interesting thing for us to contemplate in our business is what are we doing to stay up with the pace that our consumers are demanding us using these new tools? And are we being innovative enough? Are we taking the risk to try new things and new tools? Or are we waiting too long? Like this woman I talked to this week, it was just, again, it always makes me kind of sad when people realize, and she said, she's a realtor, and she said, I've waited so long. I've waited so long that now it's so overwhelming. I need help. I just think, as businesses, we can wait, and that's okay to be a little risk adverse and wait a little bit, but I think we can also wait too long, and our consumers are already past where we are to the point of seeing us as old school, regardless of what your business is. So, maybe talk to your teams this week out there and look at how are we staying innovative in the use of technology to reach these consumers who can't get enough of all of these, tools. Not that we have to shift everything there, but I do think it's an interesting, an interesting thing to think of.
Well, okay. I'm being possessed by the spirit of Neen James.
I know. I was hearing her voice right now saying,
"It's time. It's
time.
On time."
I was going to share one.
Okay, gorgeous. It's time to get off.
Website. I know. I'm sorry, Neen. I have to share one app because I thought it was so cool that I was playing with it. And again, it goes back to our storytelling using pictures and technology. for those of you who are big Instagram fans, even if you're using other tools, but it's really cool with all your cool Instagram pictures. There's a website called Storywheel.cc. So this is where we were asking, what is the .cc? And who was it that told us? Let me scroll back up. Messner, MB Messner. Why can't I think of your first name? Said it's Cocoa Island. So anyway, the website is called Storywheel, and it's not an app, which I was kind of surprised and saddened. Storywheel, WHEEL.cc. If you go to this website, you select the pictures you want, and then you narrate with your voice a story. I think a cool challenge for the month of February, since January is almost over, is see if you can tell a 5-minute story of your business using a tool like Storywheel. If you're looking for ways to be innovative, I think this is a good challenge because it's so beautiful the way it lays it out, and it creates this almost little movie of your business, and you get to tell the story. Maybe it's a story of the technology conference, people you met there, things you learned, taking pictures with that as your filter. Maybe it's a project you're working on. Take some photos that depict the beginning, the middle, the end of the project, progress of it, and share that in a story wheel. I don't know why apps like that really intrigue me, because I just think the whole storytelling is very important in business, and I think this is a cool one that we can... Now,
once you tell the story, does it output to some other format?
Yeah, you can actually, it'll save it and it'll put it in it's not an MOV file, but it saved it as almost like a presentation, but it had your audio narrating it, and then saves it, and you can post it on your website or your Facebook page. Mary Beth, sorry I couldn't think of your name. Mary Beth said CC is Cocoa Islands, so I like it even more now. So that was my one. I had to slide it in there.
Storywheel.cc.
And that just look, it made my glass way more full. Even in life, if you have to tip your glass to make it half full, tip it. There's my parting words.
Wisdom. Well, I think we should come out with a book, Gina's Wisdom.
Gina's Wisdom. Yeah. When your glass is half empty, just tip it. That's tweet-worthy right there.
That's right.
That's tweet-worthy.
If your glass is half empty, just tip it.
Just tip it.
And then you have a tipping point.
You know what? I'm going to write a book about that. Oh, Sopo would shut me down. But yeah, you have an awesome, safe drive to Las Vegas. Tell Elvis we said.
Yep.
And I'm going to be hanging out here in beautiful Colorado.
That sounds good. Well, anyway, everyone, thank you for being here, and we will see you guys next week on SchreckTeck. Got a little outro music.
Well, my dancing robot.
Yep. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a great week. Follow us on Facebook. I just can't stop talking.